Hello. For those of you who I have not talked with yet, my name is Craig Ross, and I'm on the external team here at True Commerce. Today we have a really cool topic: how to allow customers to pay via e-checks, also known as ACH, while shopping in your online store. We've heard from you that you have your customers asking if they can pay in your store via their checking account. Well, now they can. So let's take a look. First, we're going to look at ACH from the perspective of the shopping experience. Then we'll look at it from your perspective on order processing and how to set up this option. As we go through this, and it'll be a quick topic, but as we go through this, if you have any questions, please ask them in the Q&A in the webinar interface. We'll have time at the end to go through them. So right now we're at our first Fairway demo, which most, if not all of you, have probably seen at this point. And so for all practical purposes, we could be on your website. And once we click on shop, now we're brought into the external store. And I even already have a couple of products in the shopping cart for us. But before I check out, I probably want to get free shipping. So let's get another British Open towel. And then we're going to check out as you would expect. And we can even be upsold. So I guess we'll get that too. But that's not really why we are here. And then let's log in. I'm just going to log in as a returning customer to save me a moment of typing. And then once I do, the system will welcome us and bring me to my checkout page. So far, all this should be very familiar to everybody. Now, while we're on the checkout page, in our payment options, you'll see that I now have the option to pay with a bank account. And so this is the primary difference. Now, like your other payment options in the system, you can control who can see this. So if you only want to allow some customers to pay this way, whereas others have to pay by credit card, you can control that very simply. So we're going to put on our account number and our routing number. And those should be very familiar to anybody who wants to pay via check. And then we submit our order. So the shopping experience is exactly the same for your customers, but now they have another payment option. And again, this can be for some of your customers or all of your customers. So far you're probably thinking, well, that's easy enough. My customers want to pay by credit cards. They can do so. Those who want to pay directly via a checking account or savings account, they can do so. Basically any sort of any bank account for that matter. So now what do I as a merchant need to do to process these orders and to enable this functionality? So now we're going to switch gears entirely and become you. So now we're going to log in to the order management system. Again, this is probably very familiar to probably everybody in this webinar today. So let's log in. And then let's look at our orders. So as you know, in the orders section, the system always puts the newest order on top. And so now we can see the order that we just placed. So if we click on the order number, this again should look very familiar to pretty much everybody. The only difference is that my payment information is now a checking account or savings if it happened to be, as opposed to credit card information. Otherwise, the screen for the most part looks identical. The other thing that you can do when somebody is paying via a bank account, you can still authorize the amount. So again, this should be very familiar. The orders come in, they're already authorized. The only difference here is that we're not capturing a credit card payment. We're going to capture a banking payment. To do that, the process is exactly the same as what you're used to from a credit card perspective. I simply click on this $sign icon next to the order number, and it'll show me that it's now going to process the ACH payment as opposed to credit card. When I hit OK, hit my resulting terminal window, I will see that I have indeed captured the funds, and I'm all set. It's literally that simple. It's in effect no different than processing a credit card. So when that's done, that's all there is to it. I can see that I've successfully captured the funds. I can also do voids and refunds just like I can with a credit card in case there was ever a customer service issue. So far, everything you've seen is basically identical to what you're used to from working with credit cards, except now you're working with bank accounts. And people want to pay by bank accounts don't have to be invoiced. You can do this during the order process, just like you do for credit cards. So far, this is exactly the same. Really, the only difference on this screen, if we scroll down, if there was a customer service issue, instead of going into the credit card terminal to do a refund, for example, or void a transaction, I now have a separate ACH terminal. So if I click on the ACH terminal, we're going to see what we just saw a moment ago. And again, here's where I've got my customer service issues, if customer service options, if I need them. If I clicked on the credit card terminal in this case, you're effectively not going to see anything because there is no credit card transaction associated with this order. So you're not going to end up in the wrong terminal if there's a customer service issue, because the wrong one won't be able to help you. So processing, very, very simple. And if there's a customer service issue, you still have the tools that you need to deal with it, even though it's not a credit card in this case. So think about this first, maybe somebody who's invoiced, and then they send you a check. And then if there's a problem, and then you have to give them a credit or send them a check back, all of that goes away. Now, having said that, some of you might be thinking, hey, Craig, this is great, but I don't go into an order like you just showed me. I batch process my orders. So can I still batch process with ACH or check payment, e-check payments? Absolutely. So if I click on the batch process button, for those of you who use this, which is probably most of you, this should also look exactly as you're used to seeing it. The difference is that in the credit card, before we just say credit card processing. Now it's credit card and ACH. So you don't have to do anything different, but it will process the card automatically, whether it's a credit card or whether it's a e-check or bank account. It all gets included in that same process. You don't even have to run two separate batch processes. You just run that one batch process like you're used to, and that's it. So there's really no additional work for you at all to offer this functionality for your customers from an order processing perspective. So now that we've looked at that piece, now the next logical question is, okay, so far this looks really simple. How do I turn this on? How do I set it up and turn it on? So we're going to go to the settings section, as you would probably expect. And in the settings section, first area we're going to look at is our billing options. So if we edit our billing options, you'll see that ACH now lives in here. And so you can control, do you allow for ACH payments for some customers or all customers? And this works by ranking, and those ranks are established in the customer section, just like it works for credit cards and any other payment options you might offer. The other thing that you can do in here is you can set a maximum number of attempts. I like 2. Maybe somebody types in the information wrong the first time, but after 2 or 3 tops, you don't want to use somebody to use your system as basically you want to build in this fraud control, again, just like you would with a credit card authorization. And then finally, you can specify what we call the verification preference. Do you want to just verify the account when the order is placed, in which case the order will be authorized like we just saw? Or do you want to verify and capture, which when you get the orders, the bank information is already captured and is on the way to your bank account. So you can control how you want that to work. If you tend to ship basically immediately, then verify and capture is a really nice option. If you tend to take, for example, you don't process orders over the weekend, then verifying probably really makes the most sense. And that's in line with how most people do credit card processing today. But you do have that choice. Now, the key with ACH, which you can probably tell by these other fields here, is that this works with our partner Global Payments. Global Payments is providing the ACH processing. So you do need to have an account with Global Payments to be able to offer ACH to your customers. Just like you need to have a payment gateway for credit card processing, same thing, you need to have a Global Payments account for ACH. So now the next logical question is, well, how do I get that? And some of you might be thinking, well, don't I already use Global Payments for credit card processing? So let's talk about both of those things. So if we go back to settings, and then we go to our compatible software area, in here is where you have the different payment gateway options. Some of you might use authorize.net or Payflow Pro, etc. some of you probably already use global payments. So again, you do need to have a global payments account to take ACH. If you click on sign up now, even though you're not really signing up now, it's going to take you to a page that they set up for you, our external clients. And on here, if you just fill out the sign up, again, you're not really signing up, you're really just requesting information at this point, but simply fill this out and then, and maybe in the message, say something about looking for ACH capability. Then their team will get back to you quickly, and then they can take you through the process of getting an ACH account. If you're already using global payments for credit card processing, well, then you can call your rep there and tell them, hey, please add ACH to what I'm already doing with you. So if you already have global payments, this is just another piece that gets added onto your account. If you're not using global payments for processing today, then yes, you do need to have an account with them. They do make it simple. They're very competitive from a rates perspective. From a credit card perspective, they have some really neat technology like decline minimizer, which is a whole nother topic. And yes, they can offer ACH to you. So that's pretty much what I wanted to show you. Having said that, let's see what questions you have. And again, if you do have questions, please ask them in the interface, and then we'll take your questions. So there's a question about, can you batch process credit cards and ACH together? And I assume this question was asked before I already showed you that. So yes, the batch process does both at the same time. You do not need to do them individually. There's a question about if an order is shipped partial, how do you charge this partial order? That's a great question. So if we go to the order section, let me see if we have one I can show you. If we, let's see what Will Smith's order looks like. Actually, that's not a ACH payment. But basically what you would do if you wanted to do a partial, if you go into the ACH terminal, you'd have the ability to do a partial capture, just like you do from a credit card perspective. So that in effect, if you've done that process with a credit card, the process would be the same for ACH. Plus, what you can do if you haven't done this is you can have order segments in an external. So that's a whole nother topic, but order segments are really smart. So if you have a scenario where, for example, an order ships from different places and or part of the order is back ordered and part of it's ready to go, the system can generate order segments for you automatically. So then with each segment, there'd basically be a button to capture the payment, which would apply just to that segment. And so it basically does the work for you. If that's something that comes up for you often and you don't have order segments turned on, please follow up with your account manager. They can show you how to do that. It's really easy. Question, how do these show up on reporting? So from a reporting perspective, if we go to orders and then we go to our report, in here we have now an ACH report as well. So this will show us our daily transactions. And so group by bank account type. And in this case, we only have a few to look at, but let's create a report. And so we can see for our order range, in which case it's only today, we can see our different ACH orders. First, our 2 orders for ACH by order number. You can see they were verified and then captured and the amounts, etc. So this is very similar to the credit card report you get in external, but again, it's in this case, separate report. So you can see just the ACH information. See a few other questions on this list. How long does it take to get set up? That's a great question. With Global Pay, my understanding is typically it takes about a week, 2 weeks, about tops, to get you up and running with them. So if you already have a banking relationship with them, it might even be faster. If you don't, there's certain information that they need from you. So it tends to take about a week or 2. Let's see, a few others. That's actually a really good question. Do ACH, not that they're all good questions, but here's another really good one. Do ACH transactions cost less than credit card payments? My understanding is yes, they do. So this is also a real nice benefit of ACH for your customers who use that. Your processing costs are less than your credit card processing costs would be. Credit card processing is typically a couple cents per transaction plus a percentage, whereas ACH is just that couple cents. So in fact, if you've ever paid somebody, like for yourself, if you ever paid a friend with Venmo, for example, if you use bank, if you basically do a direct to bank, it's a lot cheaper, i.e. free, than it was if they tie to your credit card and then they charge you for that. And then another question, one which we've already sort of talked about, but I think it's a good one to end with. And just to kind of reiterate, so basically the question is, do I have to have an account with Global Pay to accept ACH payments? And the answer is yes. And so you do have to have a Global Payments account to do it. And then you're all set. The other thing that was mentioned in the webinar invite, and this is a good time to bring this up as well, is Global Pay, when you open an account for an external customers, they're going to give you a $500 statement credit. So basically your first $500 worth of transaction fees are absolutely free. So that's an awesome benefit as well. And so really you can offer this, in fact, it'll be less than credit cards, and the first $500 worth of transaction fees are completely free. So that's pretty much everything I wanted to show you today. Having said that, if there's any questions I missed, or if there's anything else you want to discuss around this or any other topic, please don't hesitate to reach out to me or to your external account manager. We would love to hear from you.